amazing morning to you. Rise and shine up in that home. It's a phenomenal new day. It is March the 8th. Can you believe that? I mean, like, don't you remember us just welcoming in January? And then February, of course, it's the shortest month of the year. And now we're in March, and it is the 8th, and it is Friday. And you officially tuned in to Coffee and Conversation with Collette, and I'm Collette. And I just do my curtsy because that's what I do to show reverence. Because as I share, I know you could be anywhere, doing anything, having any kind of conversation that matters. But you make the conscious effort, just the decision that you want to tune in and have a little conversation. A little fireside chat is what we call it. And so that's what we're going to have on today. You know, a lot of things are happening, and I'm going to go somewhere else with it today. Speak Rock is in the building, so he's getting situated, and then we're going to take a little pause for the cause. I got this great clip that's coming up, and you all can look at that, and then we're going to bring him up on to our panel to have a conversation, because I'm going somewhere with the conversation today as a continuation from yesterday, and I just keep having these aha moments. And I just said, you know what? In the midst of this aha, we got to talk about it, because I want to know if you think the way that I think. And if not, I want us to say, like in my Pinky and the Brain segment, are you pondering what I'm pondering? Because I just want to know if it's just me. And a lot of times it could just be me. I know I'm a very different individual, and I embrace that. And I just want to know if I'm out here by myself. I just want to let you all know, you know what? Today is International Women's Day. Did you know that? No? Did you know? Today's Did You Know? Great. Well, today we're celebrating International Women's Day, and the hashtag for that is Balance for Better. Quote, and this is, I'm taking this directly, I pulled this from USA Today. Quote, Balance for Better is a theme for this year's International Women's Day, which is observed each year on March 8th. The 2019 initiative is aimed at gender equality, a greater awareness of discrimination, and a celebration of women's achievements, according to the International Women's Day website. That includes reducing the global pay gap between men and women and making sure that all are equal and balanced in activist movements, boardrooms, and beyond. I think that is amazing. And to commemorate this amazing day of acknowledgement, because I am a woman and I'm so thankful to be a woman, I couldn't imagine what it's like to not be a woman. I just can't even imagine. I think just women are amazing. I believe who we are, if we understand our greatness. I believe that's a conversation that we've consistently had on this show, is that women always give their power away. And we give our power away because we are indoctrinated into a conversation that is established by men, propaganda that is established by men, media that create conversations of who we're supposed to be. You all remember the Stepford Wives, and you're supposed to be seen and not heard, and all of those things. And then only a woman's role. And so much so that in some countries, a woman is only good to give birth, but then the birth is only validated if it's a young man, a boy. And then if it's a young girl, then it's like shame and disgrace upon the family. But you don't realize that it is through the girl, the woman, that you birthed the child. So that is the ultimate value in and of itself. But so do you get where I'm going with that? There's somewhere in our ideology of what we're being told is important and who we're being told is important is really causing us to have some catastrophic impacts, specifically in communities of color. We have the matriarch. Everyone puts everything on the matriarch. You all know. You saw the shows, Big Mama, and she holds everything together, and she puts everything together, and she fixes everything. But no one helps to fix her. No one helps to relieve stresses from her. And so then what happens? When, heaven forbid, Big Mama passes away, the family falls down. Bless his heart, but Daddy didn't know what to do without Big Mama. So he's just kind of sitting there. And then he goes and gets a young girl. I'm just saying. And then bless her heart, she can't hold the family together. I'm just having a conversation with you this morning, and I just want to know. But on today, we are acknowledging amazing women. So all the women out there this morning, great, amazing morning to you. Seize your power. Realize your inner peace. Trust who you are and whose spirit tells you who you are. And that in any situation that is not conducive for you, you move it. Any environment that is not healthy for you, you create a plan to be able to remove yourself from it. Because if you don't value who you are, no one else will. And so I honor you and I salute you today and every day. Let's take a look at this amazing clip. It's only about 2 minutes that honors International Women's Day. Shall we?
When we don't share equal rights and opportunities at work and at home.
And when I talk about my children at work and people assume I'm not as focused on my career as I should be.
When black women are underrepresented in senior management roles.
And when people look past me assuming my male colleague is in charge.
When gender barriers mean only 11% of UK engineers are female.
And when we don't train people to build diverse teams.
When we say female-male academic and emphasise gender when there's no need.
And when people are judged or penalised for the protected characteristics they happen to represent.
And when it's difficult to share parental leave.
When we don't have absolute freedom of expression.
And when we don't respect privacy and ensure dignity at work for trans staff and students.
When it's perceived that field research can only be undertaken by men.
When we don't consider the intersectional identities of all genders and how these impact our lives.
And when discrimination and society's standards hold us back. A future that is socially fair and where differences are cherished and not discriminated against.
And a future where gender never stands in the way of health, happiness or success.
The day when people don't roll their eyes when I talk about gender equality, or assume I think male colleagues are inferior.
And the day when everyone can express themselves freely without any inhibitions.
A time where more women of colour are empowered to become entrepreneurs, community leaders and change agents.
And a completely inclusive environment for trans staff and students. A future where every single person has the opportunities to build the life they want.
And a future where our differences aren't collected as evidence of fair-mindedness.
I hope that gender stereotyping will become a laughable idea from the past.
And I hope that one day we won't need to talk about this anymore.
Knowing that we can become a university where everyone feels valued.
Gender equality.
It's the small things.
It's the big things.
It's all of the time, everywhere.
It's who we are.
It's the university we're striving to be.
So we're just so thankful for that clip on the acknowledgement of International Women's Day. And he's in the building. Good morning, Rock.
Hey, good morning.
How are you? I'm amazing. We're getting everybody
great.
Comfortable. Okay, I got everything. Yes. This my phone.
Yes.
Okay, we were just talking about phones and the challenges
talking about Women's Day.
Women's Day. And,
yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about it? But every day you have a house full of women.
Come on now, yeah, you know
so
I love it.
So you have to honor them. Like what you do all the time.
I mean, what you were saying is so on point because, our society, we have put women in that role of keeping everything together, being the glue, and it's warranted. But in the same instance, there has to be, some reciprocity.
Yes.
Okay, you gotta take care of your mother, your aunt, your sister, your daughter, or what have you. And I believe we're getting to the point now, especially in the African American community.
Okay.
Because we fell off for a while. Let's just be honest about it. We fell off for a while with the levels of respect.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
And we're working hard to get back there.
Are we? Says who?
Well,
this
me,
is Speak
me.
Rock. Right. I just want to understand, everyone. And let me just open up the lines because he's in the building. This is really our Freestyle Friday. I'm going to continue the conversation because I want Rock's perspective about the State of the City address, but not the State of the City address the way you all think I'm going to go with it, okay? And then it's going to open up into a myriad of other things, and I think we're going to be very excited about our 2 hours today, and it's just going to be great. So you can be a part of the conversation as well. 313-868-0342 or 313-868-0351. 313-868-4336. So there we go, Rock. That's it. So
That's
finish.
it.
Yeah, so you believe that we are in a space now of honoring the Black woman, realizing the woman's value?
Yeah. Because we're understanding, and when I say we, I guess I'm talking about that demographic from, 45 to your 20s. Because think about it. Really, in the 90s,
okay,
in the 90s to the 2000s,
sure,
our generation, I was gonna say you and our generation, Collette, we messed stuff up.
You think
women,
so?
yes.
No, I don't think we did.
Yes.
I think this new generation is messing stuff up. What's that song? This is horrible. You all know, and why should I even know the song? Tatiana. No, so now, the thought It has a name, Tatiana, busted down, Tatiana. Stop it.
Yeah.
So you're just embracing all of the ratchetness, and so that's how women call themselves bees now. They refer to each other as bees now. Tots, Tatianas. The good girl, especially because everybody lives on social media.
Okay.
So the reason why I think our age group didn't cause for the erosion is because we didn't have the crux of social media the way that it is today. Everybody lives off of social media. So people, and please, I'm going to ask your perspective.
Yeah.
I was just having this dialogue with my niece the other day, and I said people believe everything that's on social media. People see when they have the women and all the likes, and the women showing all that stuff that they were in the gym, and that's why how they got the posteriors and the whatever. I said people believe that. He said no, they don't. He said they have to believe that they had work done. I said no, they don't. I said I'm going to ask the audience. Do you actually believe that when folks see these pictures, they think that these women were actually doing the work at the gym, or they went and got work done? Now you're a man. What do you think? What do you think that they think?
Oh my God, people believe it.
They believe
people
what?
Believe it. They believe that, you know what, she came like this.
Thank
you. She was born into the world like this. Now, that's some people.
But do you believe the majority of the people, because people believe that Instagram is real? That everything you see on there is real. That how I'm balling to the point of you see the women and all of the video vixens and all of these women, and they all have the workout gear on. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
You know good and well that is not how you were built. But men, I just want to ask, do you all think that, and Sean, you can chime in too, Sean, that because he has like 15,000, like he has like $1,000,000. Like, do men think that that's who they are?
Some men, yes. And if you want to say the majority of them, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because people want to be fooled. Like, fool me. Like, that's what I want to believe.
Right.
So I believe it. So then there's the other part of people who say, nah, there's no way.
There's no way. But then stay right there. And how we then live in our realities. How does that impact our realities? Because then you'll be looking at your girl like, well, you need to work out. Because look at old girl right here. And look at what she does and this and the other. Well, no. She didn't get like this because she was at the gym every day. She went and had the work done, then put on her workout clothes, and then I want to act like I'm at the gym because I created this. No, you created the body all right, and now you're at the gym acting like I did the lifts and I'm doing all the stuff to maintain it. But you had some help.
Yeah. But let me go back to, this other point.
Yeah, get all the points, because I'm giving them to
when we're talking about the 90s, of course, on Freestyle Friday, right?
Sure.
So in the 90s, with the Dr. Dre's of the world, the Snoop Dogg's of the world, and I'm just naming West Coast rappers right now, but it permeated to the East Coast as well. Two Live Crews, in the 80s into the 90s. So my point is, the disrespect and the level, the acceptance of the degrading of the black woman, it was at an all-time high.
Sure.
I mean, some will probably argue and say that was probably the birth. That was the beginning stages of how do we continuously to degrade the black woman and have her be okay with it, so much that it gave birth to the Melissa Fords, and maybe I'm speaking to a certain demographic, all your video vixens.
Tatianas.
Then is born into, well, the Tatianas is that's the Instagram model.
Yeah.
See, the video vixen in a lot of ways gave birth to the Instagram model.
Yeah.
See, so
but stay there. But the majority of the Instagram models started off as strippers. So people, see, but folks don't. That's how you right.
Yeah.
How did you become? You started off stripping, and then they put you in a video, and then now you parlay that into being a model.
Okay, well, I mean,
I know you didn't know. Right.
Well, right. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
You know, Cardi B got a Spirit of Detroit award, right? You know that, right?
Well, and
I'm just saying.
And you all know that she did. Right. She absolutely got
I don't know
awarded.
why she got it, but
well, she was shocked too, because she showed up in the city. Bless her. She showed up in the city, and the powers that be.
I'm poking, right?
Yeah, and
because I'm confused.
Poke the bear.
To what?
Cause I was. Now let me just say, and I ain't even mad because Cash Doll was like, well, wait a minute. I'm from this city. I do charitable work in this city. This is my city, and y'all didn't even give me the Spirit of Detroit award. So how you gonna give it to Cardi B, and you not give it to Cash Down? Why are we even having this conversation? But I'm just saying, right, Dave, where Dave's at? I mean, I'm just saying. But to your point, let's symptoms versus issues, everyone. Who owns the record labels? Who agrees for the music that's put out? Right. Who perpetuates the conversations of how we see ourselves?
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to juxtapose, let's roll that right on over to yesterday. We were talking about the State of the City address.
Okay.
And I gave a quote from Napoleon Bonaparte that stated, "A leader is a dealer in hope." Let me give that to you again. Okay. A leader is a dealer in hope. So Mayor Duggan got up there, and he was so swagged with his presentation that he said, "I don't need any notes. I don't need a teleprompter, because this is me. This is my thing. I've been doing this. So I'm going to walk you through this thing," like he was coming off the dome with it, right? That's how he presented. I don't know if you saw the State of the City, but he did. And then he talked about all these things, but if you look at the 5-year history of the State of the City addresses, we're still talking about the same things. We still talk about housing. We're still talking about crime. We're still talking about transportation. We're still talking about jobs and fair opportunities. It's the same conversation, right? But he had everyone believing that, oh yeah, Detroit's it. Detroit is it now. This has been a plan in the making, and now I've been able to bring it to pass. So now the old depot, the train depot that had been sitting there in ruins forever from the Maroons, that no one built them, no one got them for blight, because if you charge them jokers, we'd have tons of money, but they just was letting have this eyesore sit there, but that was okay. Right? Because they own the bridge and whatever those other politics are. But he had everybody believing that, oh, Detroit is great right now. And my thing is, Detroit can absolutely be great right now. Right. But is it great for everybody?
No. No.
Absolutely. But the hope, what he presented was, oh yeah, that's right. We're everything, and this is Detroit, and you should buy into this thing. And at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, but listen to what he says, and then listen to what he says. Because if you're consistently dealing with people that shape your narrative and you don't realize what it is, you don't take the blinders off, how does it have an impact on you? So stay right there. He could reference the Honorable Coleman Alexander Young, which he did in his speech. But at the end of the day, everyone hated on Coleman Young, the other municipalities, because he was a black man who understood what to do in government. He didn't apologize for who he was. He said what he wanted to say. He told you to kisses if he wanted to. And he had a power base of people who were employed, who had money, who were keeping this city afloat. And at the end of the day, subsequently, all the other black mayors weren't ever able to accomplish what Coleman Young accomplished. And we fell for that. Yeah. Why weren't they ever able to? We fell for it, the banana in the tailpipe. Again, the image of who can do what. That's what I'm getting to. I want Detroit to prosper. And for me, and I believe all of us, we're going to prosper if we believe that we're going to prosper. We understand the truths about how to prosper. We have a plan, and we work the plan. If not, you'll be sitting there waiting for them to save you. There's no more Coleman Alexander Youngs. Sorry, you guys, they're not. And if you look at where Detroit is going right now, I don't believe that the residents of this city will ever put someone like Coleman Alexander Young in office again.
And probably not. A lot of it, if you look at what's going on under Mayor Duggan's his terms that he's serving, it's he has bedfellows.
Come on.
I mean, a lot of the work that you see getting done, we can possibly honestly say is not really because of his intellect, his genius. It's the partnering of the people, the Illiches, the Gilberts. Okay, these are people who said, we have the plan, we have the business. Not only that, we got the finance. So let's take the retail spaces. Let's take the prominent downtown areas, and let's put our visions.
Come on.
And the hope has always been sowed. Guess what? What's going to happen is, and this is coming from the mayor's office.
Yeah.
As downtown explodes, it's going to leak out into the communities.
Yes.
And if you see the plans right now, what's going on? They're talking about a plan off of Jefferson.
Yes.
There's some other projects that they have going on.
Yes.
I'll give them this: the plans that they have, they're being executed. but that doesn't mean it's for the greater good of the people. And I saw in his State of the City where he would mention local entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And
Doing
those who,
development.
yeah,
Yeah.
who possibly moved out of the city,
Yes.
but then they came back.
Yes.
And once again, these are the eaches. These are, and there's nothing wrong with someone prospering, someone getting them a business. But what about the person that he always alludes to and says, the people that stayed in Detroit for whatever reason,
Yeah.
these are the people who elected me.
Yeah.
But are those people opening businesses?
Well, let me tell you, they're trying, but just call it for what it is. White folks feel comfortable under white folks' leadership, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And not even leadership because you're actually leading, leadership because you're in the position. And so all of these folks now came to the table with their resources to make this what it was and what it is right now. And what you see it's going to be when downtown rental is $2,000 a month for downtown Detroit rental. Okay?
Yeah.
But the truth is, Coleman Alexander Young is the one that said we have to have a prosperous downtown, but then we have to have thriving communities as well. That came from Coleman Alexander Young, not from anybody else. But I'm asking us today to just think a little bit that what is it telling us? What does it tell us? What does it perpetuate that a black man still can't do it? A black man still can't lead. We sit, and I'm going to take it someplace else, R. Kelly. Everybody named mama now talk about R. Kelly, 20 years, R. Kelly. I'm not justifying. I don't know. I wasn't in the house. I wasn't in the rooms. I don't know what actually took place with him and these women. But I know for us to now be on our soapbox, again, crucifying a black man, I got a problem with it. I got a problem with us, and you stick a pin with it because I want you to talk about, because your face is like, huh? I got a problem with us crucifying Michael Jackson and this Neverland documentary.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that. Here we go yet again, a black man. I got a problem at the end of the day when you're consistently seeing images about police officers just killing folks, and because he's a black man, he's perceived as a threat. Black men have never been a threat in America. I'm sorry. Who shaped the narrative that black men are threatening and they're rapists and they're criminals and they're... Who shaped that? Who created that?
Yeah.
And so I'm asking us, if you really think about the images and everything that is around us and what we're being fed, you would be led to believe that our black men can't do anything. They're sex-craved predators is what it is. And then who's then benefiting? And then when you use them up, you just throw them away. Because at the end of the day, no one said anything about Elvis Presley. I got a clip. We'll get there. He married her at 14, started dating her at 14. He was 24.
Oh, yeah.
And the parents knew. I got the clip. We're going to show it. But there's nobody having that conversation. We're not having a conversation about Weinstein. We're not having a conversation about, you know what, in the midst of what Kwame Malik Kilpatrick was doing as mayor was no different than what anybody else was doing, but why was he put out to the pasture when everybody else is doing the same thing?
Right.
I'm just saying, I mean, we're going to have a real conversation. It's Freestyle Friday. That's what I want us to talk about. Because if we don't get it, women are International Women's Day. We're everything, but we can't work to our full potential without a man. Do you get that? Our men. Not who they say is our men. Not who they then tell us to define for ourselves our men. Okay, Rock, now. I done said, now. I'm getting off the soapbox. Callers, I see you. We're about to get you.
No, that's okay, because I'm totally with you. I have a issue myself with the way the media and the way our people, the way black people, we're handling this situation. But it's no different than what we've always been doing. And just because we've always did it doesn't make it right.
Say it.
It's wrong. Here's the deal. We are so comfortable with being attached to other races that we feel have power. We don't want to do anything to mess up our bread and butter. and here's the thing. So when I look at Oprah's situation, and I don't mind speaking, and anyway, let me stay on focus because I was going to say something else.
No, you can say that because I'm going to bring it everywhere.
Yeah.
No problem.
Like, yes, Oprah has done a lot of great things.
Sure.
But the problem with us as black people, when we become professionals in any field, we feel as if now we owe the profession more than we owe our people.
Nice.
So what Oprah is doing, what a lot of other prominent black people feel they have to do, they feel they have to call it the way it is.
Yeah.
They have to now all of a sudden when there's a black person,
Yeah.
you got to be true to the art form,
Yeah.
and you got to report or
Yeah.
you have to persecute or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be.
Yeah.
But when there's a white person, you don't have that same vigor. You don't have that same excitement. You don't have that same zeal. You don't have that same, as we like to say today, that energy.
Yeah.
That your energy is not the same.
Yeah.
Because Corey Feldman, he's a childhood star that grew up. He's been blowing the horn.
Yeah.
He's been sounding off.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear from
Yeah.
him. He gets on shows and they just mute him.
Yeah.
So while Oprah isn't giving him more shine.
Well, stay there. Because you all don't want to realize, or maybe you do, that everyone has a Geppetto. Let me just say that again. Everyone has a Geppetto. You know who Geppetto is, right? Geppetto's the one that made Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Pinocchio was the wooden little boy who wouldn't die that wanted to be a boy. Right? So everyone has a Geppetto. So why do we see, because we always keep thinking that if we go by their way and do what they say, that they will be rewarded, and then we can pass the test of color and we enter into class and then we're free.
Right.
We's ain't ever free.
Right.
If you do it they way, we's ain't ever free. Who do you think Oprah's been held to? That's why Oprah does what Oprah does.
Yeah.
Because she has to show them, oh, well, I'm not like that.
And,
I'm in
you
a
know what's
different class
dangerous
right
about
now.
that?
That's it.
She continues to bounce back and forth. So her, along with others like her, Ava DuVernay, whatever her name is, they continue. They say, "Oh well, you know what? I'm broadening out to the masses and all walks of life." And then all of a sudden, hey, I want to sit down and eat some fried chicken and some collard greens. Wait, hold up, stop! You just showed everybody that you no holds barred, that you're gonna do your best. Whatever kind of reportive journalism that you call yourself doing, you're going to expose a person when you're not using that same energy for a Matt Lauer or a Harvey Weinstein or what have you.
She can't.
They have people.
She can't.
They can get. She can get.
She
they
can't.
have people that you can get in touch with.
She can't.
Right. You can't because they're not gonna let her.
She's bought. Do y'all get it? She's bought. And if you don't understand that, then it will cause you to look at us differently.
Right.
Because we look at who looks like us to tell us, and then you all saw the clip with Gail, and she's looking at R. Kelly like, first of all, shame on y'all. Because Gail, shame on you. Because none of y'all should have had him in front of a camera the way you had him in front of a camera. You should have set him down and had that conversation. Let you do all this theatrics and whatever with me.
Right.
And we're going to have a real conversation. Look, black man.
Yeah.
You and only you and your guy are going to have to be accountable for whatever it is you've done.
Right.
And everybody in the house and all the people's families, whatever, everybody know how it went down. But when we get in front of this camera right here, son, this is a conversation we're going to have. You're going to act like you got some sense. We're going to create it in a perspective of whatever we're going to create. But we're going to have a conversation to protect you. We don't protect each other.
Right.
That's why it goes back to your point of everyone can talk about the hoes and the bees and all this and the songs and da-da-da, and everybody like, yeah. And then because the men saying it and the women like, yeah. What is that?
Yeah.
We don't protect each other. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate because, once again, how do you think, and I tell people this all the time, yeah, you might have R. Kelly out here like this, you might have Bill Cosby out here like this, and you feel like you're doing your, you're serving justice by, being loose at the mouth, having comments to say. And I've said this before, I said this the other day on one of my social media posts, say, be careful what you put your mouth on, because you think you got your past so sewn up.
Yeah.
If anybody wanted to get into your past, be it me included, and somebody wanted to make an issue out of it, they could. See, so be mindful. Because some of us,
we don't do that, right?
Right. And the problem is, once again, we are so tainted, we are so destroyed, we are so hurt as a people that we feel the way we get justified is to bring another one of us down. Yes. And once again, let me make it abundantly clear, because I'm just going to be honest. Some of us, we don't think as fast as others. Yes. So they might think that, well, Rock and Collette are sitting up here, justifying the actions of R. Kelly. No. First of all, I say it like this, and I tell anybody, you said it earlier. I wasn't in the room.
Wasn't in the room.
I don't live with that man. I don't know those little girls. I don't know their parents.
Don't know them grown women.
I ain't got no. I don't have a camera.
Don't have
so
a camera.
Let's be clear. All this proof that everybody's saying they got, or whatever the R. Kelly tape that you seen a long time ago, I hear you thinking, but you still don't know. See, you're willing to condemn a man for something that you're not a judge, jury, or executioner. See, because first of all, if I got to be real, and we Freestyle Friday. First of all, like we've always said, first thing we got to do is police the own issues in your own house.
Say that.
First, let's talk about your issues and your habits that's crippling your family. Let's talk about freaky uncle that we ain't still haven't addressed. Come on now.
Come on.
Let's talk about how we're letting our sons and our daughters date up, okay?
Right.
Dating people much older than them, and we think it's cute. Come on now. So all I'm saying is,
because what he give you, what he paying? Did you tell him you need this money for such and such and such? Girl, you better use what you got to get what you want. Where'd that come from?
Come on now. Come on.
And all I'm just saying is, I just want us, we're going to look at things as they are. There's truth and transparency.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have some wool over our eyes when it comes to government and governance. We could do better by the people in this city and in this region if the people that were elected and selected knew better. They don't. And you constantly put them in the office because their platform is for them. It's not for the betterment of the people. Stop it. Because if it was, the situations in our communities wouldn't be what they are. We wouldn't constantly be looking for the next election. People now constantly talk about 2020.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what about now? What are we doing right now?
Yeah.
You keep trying to put a person in office. Doesn't all of this show you that the power isn't in the person, the power is in the people? Did you get that? You, like, think person, people. But you keep giving it away. So you caught up in this, this is what it is, and none of it's benefiting you. You caught up in, this is what it is, the persecution of black men and black boys and not meeting them where they are, and they ain't no good, and they can't be husbands, and they can't be fathers, and they can't be boyfriends, and they can't be good friends, because this is what they tell you, that's what it is, so you just leave them out to dry, and then you afraid of black men. Really? We gonna have it, I just want to know. I want to know, do we know why we're even saying what we're saying, Rock? Where did it even come from, Rock?
Geppetto. He got us. He got us. And for some reason, Geppetto's voice still echoes more than our voice, because there are some, how can I say, powerful in intellect and intelligence. There are powerful people who are organizers, who are activists, who are clergy. But for some reason, they're still getting drawn out by this dream of I'm going to make it by attaching myself to others versus my own people. And
money, money, money.
Yeah.
We need to probably play that, Sean. Some people got to have it. Hey. Come on, the mighty dollar. That's what it is. That doesn't give you anything but some money in your pocket. It's not peace. What did R. Kelly say? I mean, that's what it is. You know good and well them people had a plan. You know good and well they serve their daughters on pallets. Y'all know that? Because people do it right now.
Because I just got to kind of get it out.
Get it out!
Because I'm sitting here looking at the family, one of the families.
One of the families.
You know, I believe it's a husband and a wife, and I believe they had two daughters with them.
Yes, 2 daughters.
And I'm looking at this guy, so it's over 2 years.
Yes.
So now, the daughter that he's saying that he hasn't seen in like 2 years, I believe she's like in her 20s now.
Yes, whether is that the one that's 21? Yeah.
Yeah, so here's my thing. Like, as a man, I'm sitting there, I said this to my wife. I said, bruh, you should have been in a compound, a mansion, a studio, whatever it is that R. Kelly living in. You should have been knocking on that door long time ago. And watch this. I said, even if you would have done it the wrong way, and what I mean is just you came to the door unruly. Yeah. Guess what? You would have drawn attention. The same kind of attention that you're drawing now. Then an investigation probably could have been launched earlier. My question is, sir, what you been doing for 2 years?
Eating well.
As a grown man.
Telling everybody, my daughter with R. Kelly. Oh, this gonna get us put on. Stop it.
I'm just saying.
You all know it because we do it on a regular level. Y'all do it on a regular level with your daughter's pretty. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. And she happens, and this little girl was white, but John Bonet. Remember John Bonet Ramsey?
Yeah.
And you just dress her up and feed her to the wolves. But we do it now. Your little girl got a little shape, and you put her in her little clothes, and you know what it is. And then when she get older and little boys like her, you tell her which little boys and what it needs to look like and what he needs to be doing for you.
And you know what the sad thing about that whole situation, as I saw that family, and especially as I looked at the father, I was like, where's the accountability? Because everything I kept hearing was, R. Kelly this, R. Kelly that. Come on, bruh. Come on, grown man. Talk about you. Where were you?
Chilling.
Where were you when it came to protecting your family? Where were you? I don't want to, no, I'm sorry. That's hard for me to get over. You're a grown adult man. I can't say on these airways about how I would conduct myself.
Let me tell you, we'd be riding out. Ooh. The only way if I had a child and she was with R. Kelly, or Michael Jackson, or anybody, is that they kidnapped her. She done ran away.
That's it.
And they done kidnapped her.
That's it.
Because outside of that, I'm coming for you. We riding up, and we gonna be at the door. You won't be able to get out of nothing. If we got to sit and camp out, whatever, somebody gonna tell us something.
You're not gonna be making albums and doing interviews and acting like it's all sweet.
I'm just saying.
No, it ain't sweet.
With our kids up in your house?
No, man.
And think about it. And as a community, we don't even question that. We didn't even question that, Rock. We were just like, that's right. We just saw the parents, and that's right.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yes.
You said as a community. So watch this. What neighborhood does this young lady live in? What community? So you telling me this black man, the father of this young lady who's supposed to be kept for 2 years, and you knew where she was? You telling me you don't have no brothers? You ain't got no some bros? You ain't got no Q dogs? You ain't got no like you ain't got no church deacons? Like you don't know nobody where y'all could have got together? So the community wrote old girl off. Oh my God! See, I can't.
Just like the community is writing off the parents' responsibility. Because if indeed these are children, and if indeed they were underage,
I can't.
You're a parent. They should be taking you to the jail right now.
Wow.
You should be clinked and going right on to child abuse, DHS. Go get them. Because you're the one that allowed this, and you knew where she was.
And as you look at social media, everybody and their mother, they're for whatever reason, we're criticizing, making fun of, joking on R. Kelly.
R. Kelly.
But that family, but that mother and that father, I'm not saying pick on them. I'm not saying that. No. But accountability.
Hold them accountable.
Hold
You're
them accountable.
Parent. And guess what? If you knew all of this and you let all of this happen, and it's fine, these women are grown now, keep your mouth shut. So why bring it up now? Because it was pay to play. So if he gave y'all some money, he gave y'all some gigs, y'all was telling everybody your daughter with him, and it was okay, and ain't nobody say anything, why say it now? I'm just asking. And we the main ones jumping on the bandwagon. That's right, he guilty. We'll burn people to the stake better than anybody else.
Wow.
Isn't that no different than that? We're going to the line. That's no different than Nat Turner. Remember in the story, Nat Turner, and then everybody, they was getting ready for the rebellion, and then the little boy came up, and they were like, no, don't let him go. He like, no, he young, he need to be a part of this. And the same little boy went back and told the white master, and as soon as they was at the end, he done told the white master the whole plan, and then they done come and then strung him up. And then you sitting there, and this is the depiction of watching him getting hung. And that's your saving grace, and you watching him getting hung. Because you have identified with the oppressor. And so now we are in a space in every aspect of our lives, in government, in social, and family, and employment, that we keep identifying with our oppressor and wonder why we can't get any better. Wonder why we ain't growing is better for us. Wonder why our families are falling apart. Wonder why our community is what it is. Wonder why we don't have jobs. Wonder why. Because you identify with the oppressor to get some money, or what you think is money. There's an article, Forbes billionaires, 20 of them are from Michigan. You think any of them are black? I didn't say million. I said billion. So you want to sell your soul for some thousands, so for some hundreds. That's what it is. I heard one of the posts said the family asked for $20,000. If he didn't give $20,000, he didn't give you $20,000. That's what it is. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to the phone.
Please.
I didn't set it up, and we done set it up, and so let's have a conversation. Wow. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Collette and Rock.
You know what? Hold on 1 second. We need a little. We're gonna get a little volume so we can hear you.
Okay.
Sean, can you help us? I think we are. Hold on 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Okay, you can talk now.
Okay. Good morning,
Good
Collette
morning.
and Rock. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. This is Deputy Chief Amos.
Yes,
How are
sir.
you guys?
We're amazing. Thank you.
Okay. This open Style Friday?
Freestyle Friday.
Yes.
Freestyle, right? Okay. Look, yesterday you had the subject about the mayor's city speech.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't think anything of it, and here's the reason why. You had he announced that this was the fifth straight clear budget with a surplus. The governor, she gave her address. She said the state of Michigan have a surplus. Mm-hmm. In both speeches, I did not hear them say, let's make the city of Detroit retirees whole. When I say whole, I'm talking about restoring their full pension, restoring their annuities that was taken from them by the emergency manager. Now, if this is in the city of Detroit, if this is the fifth straight budget and you got all this resurgence, then I believe that if you have a mayor that's not a carpetbagger, the mayor would go in and at least approach the new governor and say, let's make the retirees whole.
So stay there 1 second.
And
Stay right there,
we're not
Deputy Chief,
hearing
on that point.
And
Stay
so
right there.
this is why people feel the way they feel.
Okay,
in
well, stay right
terms
there.
of a tale of two cities.
Well,
I
stay
mean,
right
if
there.
you don't
Deputy
speak-
Chief, hold on. Stay right there. Stay right there. It is not then just the mayor. So we say the mayor, but if he's not having a conversation, you tell me where city council having a conversation. You tell me where the state reps are having a conversation. You tell me where the state senators are having a conversation. You tell me where the Wayne County commissioners are having a conversation. So I need to know if indeed everybody who has been elected and selected said that they are for the betterment of the people of this city. All of them are representatives of the people of this city. Why aren't any of them having that conversation? I'm sorry? Are you there? We lost you. Okay, maybe you can hang up and call us right back because we lost you. But Rock, I mean, on that point.
No, that's an excellent point because his point is valid.
Yeah.
You know, let's have this conversation. You know, he started with governor.
Yes.
Mayor. Get it. But what you're saying is there's all sorts of parties, local elected officials who can be fighting for because did that just blow away? It was so great what he said. I mean, you got the retirees who their pensions were affected. So what are we doing to make that? Let's make that right.
Well, and stay right there though.
So guess what? They're living here and they're paying dollars, they're paying taxes because even to some degree, they still should be offer a retirement check. Yeah. There should be some type of taxes. Yeah.
Well, but stay there. Where are the unions that they pay dues to?
Wow.
So let's talk about that. So the unions that take your dues and you have a lobbyist for the union, what are they doing? You understand what I'm saying?
No, it's an
I need
excellent
us
point.
we really need to think through this thing. We always so quick to point one finger at one person. Man, you need to be getting everybody.
And see, this is to your point, what you're saying from the very beginning. Once again, we get so excited about these elections and we think that one person, if we put the Obama in office, if we get that next Obama 2.0, and we put that person in office, all the rights, you know what I'm saying, all the wrongs are going to be righted. No, it is a system of people that is supposed to work, and pressure must always constantly be applied.
Thank you.
And when I'm talking about pressure, I'm not talking about negative pressure, but it's just it's the point of being heard. It's the point of your plan being laid out. And you know what? You got to, how the Bible says, you got to be what's it, wise as a serpent, sharp as a you got to have the ear of people. You got to know how to not only just network, but you got to know how to be diplomatic. And
if you know that, we keep
but
putting
somebody
people
in our organization.
No, they don't. No,
I'm talking about in
all of them organizations, they don't, Rock. And all of them,
I was
they
trying
don't.
to help y'all.
I know you tried. And all of them, they don't. They
try to
don't.
help y'all.
They don't. So your unions don't care about you. You said the mayor don't care about you. Your city council don't care about you. Your state reps don't care about you. The state senators don't care about you. Because you can't tell me Wayne County commissioners don't care about you. You can't tell me that either them as principals or somebody in their teams should not be able to be astute enough to say, if indeed this is our charge, if indeed this is important, if indeed, why are we having the conversations? Because you know why? Because if I fix it, then I'm out. No one wants to fix anything. Do you get it? Because my platform is in management. So I'm just going to have this union because I'm going to keep telling you that I'm fighting for you. Okay. And then you're going to keep giving me the money, and I'm just going to keep telling you that I'm fighting for you. I'm not ever going to get you a result. Wow. I'm just fighting for you. And then I'm going to give you a little report, and then I'm going to give you a newsletter, and then I'm going to say this is where we are, and then this is what the lobbyists are doing, and it never is going to amount to anything. It's just a process because we're in a process-driven society that keeps usurping your authority and taking your money. Right? So now, when it's time for a city council and everybody's gearing up for the next election or for the mayor, they'll say, oh, well, they didn't do such and such. But if you elect me, you select me, then I can sit and do that. And then we're sitting there like, yeah, because they didn't do anything. Well, who did something before them?
Yeah.
And then who did something before them?
Right.
And at the end of the day, has it ever benefited you? But they got to have a conversation because you got to give them money because then they got to run a campaign and then they got to be in office and then all that money stays in their fund and then they don't really do anything for you because it's still a process yet again, but we think we're doing something.
You know what's so funny? But you make everything you said is an excellent point. The lines are lit up.
I know
right
we're gonna
now.
get. I think this is Deputy Chief back here, and then we're gonna get line one. Y'all don't go anywhere because we gonna get everybody. Nowhere. Yeah.
But you know what's so funny? I was having this conversation with my wife, and I was saying, because the governor, she released her plan for how we're gonna
and the budget,
how we gonna fix the roads.
The roads.
How she say it?
Fix the roads.
Yeah, she got everybody with that.
Roads,
I told roads. And everybody I was in contact with, I said, listen, y'all. I mean, she might be a genius in some ways, but come on, mathematics is just mathematics. Like, I don't know where y'all think she gonna get this money from, but 9 times out of 10, the wheel, we haven't changed from the wheel since it's been created.
Thank you.
She's probably gonna follow something that we all and what was that? Find a tax. Find a tax which is gonna tax the people. And now everybody's like, and I'm looking like, what do y'all think was gonna happen?
Because it sounded great. Remember, the leader is a dealer in hope. So I'm gonna tell you, hey,
now, watch this. It wasn't like she was like, I mean, y'all was probably hoping like, well, we're gonna tax Nestle. That's probably what they was hoping for. Or we're gonna tax. Who else is raping Michigan and not giving back?
All the corporate tax abatements, they don't have to. If you could sit someplace for 12 and 20 years and not have to pay taxes,
see,
so where
did you think she was going to get this money from?
Why didn't you adjust that legislatively to give some relief to the people?
But we're so happy to take a photo op, though, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter what she said.
You know why? Because you say I'm bringing jobs back. I'm bringing jobs. Well, heck, you're not going to have any money from the job because you're going to be taxed out of the wazoo, so you're going to turn into a minimum wage worker.
She gave us Gilchrist. We good.
I'm just saying.
You know,
let's go
funny,
to the
right?
Well, no, I know. That's okay. He's in office, too. Is this Deputy Chief?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you're back. So I was asking you had made the point about the mayor, and we get that. I was just asking, what about everybody else, too?
Everybody, I mentioned the governor.
Okay, then I said, and what about the state rep? And I said about the state senators, and I said about the city council, and I said about the Wayne County commissioners, and I said, it's not just them. This is not a dictatorship.
Okay, I got you. What it is, Collette, I can't raise you on the laptop or the cell phone or the tablet. I can't get your visual or audio, so I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Team. Okay.
So anyway, my whole point is we need the citizens to come out and hear the plan because exactly what you and Rock just mentioned, that's on our agenda. We're going after the opportunity to create a better life in Detroit politically, okay, and that includes getting rid of the status quo, which is the mayor, the council, and many of the representatives in Lansing that's supposed to be doing something for Detroit. Again, this is for our future. and our future is our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. When you talk about tax incentives, it's not 12 to 15 years. These tax incentives are for 30 to 35 years. And the reason the governor is keeping the tax incentive quiet for the Chrysler plant is because if you go to the Mackinac Fiscal Policy Council, you will see the history of the state of Michigan with tax incentives. For the past 30 years, they were not successful, and they have given away billions in tax incentives. You got automotive companies, you have manufacturers saying that, hey, give us, for example, this $300 million, and we'll create 2,000 jobs. No one, if you do your research, not one of those developers or companies fulfill their commitment in terms of hiring people in the numbers that they propose. Okay?
Okay, well, we're up against the hard break, Deputy Chief. Why don't you give an announcement of when your event is going to take place so everyone can get it?
Okay. It's March 9th, tomorrow. Historic King Solomon Baptist Church, 6100 14th Street at Ferry Park, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We need everyone to come out, and we need for you to bring young people so young people can learn the political process and they can get paid.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we appreciate everyone. You are come out Historic King Solomon Baptist Church on tomorrow. I believe there's some contact information. They can call who? Lord Miss Parks or yourself?
Yeah, they can call Miss Parks at 313-492-6774. Kenny Candleman Holloway, 313-778-0979. Myself, Reginald Amos, at 313-399-8290.
All right, everyone. That's your call to action to come out tomorrow if you want to be involved. We appreciate the call. And everyone, we're going to go to break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All callers, we're going right to the lines as soon as we come back. More Coffee and Conversation with Collette, our special guest on today's Speak Rock. We'll be right back.